Things are already heating up for the Jake Haro sentencing tomorrow. We read an article earlier today which basically lets us know what the DA is recommending versus what the public defender representing Jake Haro is recommending. And I truly believe this hearing will be very interesting tomorrow to see where the judge lands with this situation. If you missed our live earlier, watch this and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please remember that we're going to be live tomorrow, live streaming and hoping to get some updates from the folks that are down there. Make sure you join us. Let's go. The prosecution defense disagree on sentence for Jake Haro in the death of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. So tomorrow is going to be a very interesting sentencing date, guys. We will be live. And this is basically where we're at right now. This is everything that you need to know as we are going to be going live tomorrow for this sentencing. I think it's important. The Riverside County District Attorney's Office will seek a minimum of 31 years sentence for the Cabezon resident Jake Haro when he is sentenced Monday, November 3rd, for murdering his 7-month-old son, Emmanuel Haro, while the public defender's office will argue for a term of 15 years to life. Court documents filed Friday show. So again, some of these documents are not available for us to review. A lot of this information has been under seal. So this is something very interesting. The defense is going to be arguing, my client, 15 years. But the prosecution is saying 31 minimum. I think it's so crazy to me. It's like this guy should be in there for life. I mean, he already basically took the life of his first child, and then he got to do it again on he murdered his second child. Like, it wasn't enough, right? Like, now they're trying to say, well, we gonna definitely do it. We need to figure this sentencing out, make it minimum 15 years. Crazy work. Haro, 32. Okay, he's 32 years old. On October 16th, pled guilty at the Riverside Hall of Justice to second-degree murder, assault on a child under 8, causing death and filing a false police report. There's nothing in the law or before this court that should lead a sentencing judge to believe that this man deserves anything but the maximum sentence allowed by law. This is what the assistant District Attorney Brandon Smith wrote. Emmanuel remains missing as of Friday, as of the filing. They still don't know where this baby body is at, even though the District Attorney's office has said, well, we have an idea. No, they don't. District Attorney Mike Hestrin has previously said that Emmanuel died from prolonged abuse. Second-degree murder carries a sentence of 15 years to life. Okay, the term for a child assault conviction is 25 years to life. The DA's office said that the murder and assault were part of a same act. Under California law, a defendant can be sentenced only one charge if one act resulted in convictions on multiple charges. Typically, a judge will sentence the defendant on the count that carries the longest prison sentence. But Superior Court Judge Gary Polk is not bound by that practice. Smith proposed in his filing on Friday that Haro first be sentenced to 6 years for violating his probation. My goodness. Haro had pled guilty to the court in 2023 to child abuse, causing great bodily injury after he and his wife abused their 10-week-old daughter. At the time, her name was Carolina, but they've changed the name after she was adopted to Promise Faith. In 2018, to point where she cannot use. So they abuse her to the point where she can't use her body, her arms. She's got cerebral palsy. This is what the article is reporting. This is what Smith wrote. Haro was ordered to serve 180 days in custody, and 6-year prison term was suspended as long as Haro did not break more laws. On the same day Haro admitted killing Emmanuel, he pled guilty to being an felon in possession of ammunition. He was already violating his probation prior. I'm surprised. What happened was the reason why they didn't violate him, even before Emmanuel was, maybe even born. They didn't violate him because the court continued to add. There was a continuance that kept pushing. This man should have been in prison from the first act. He should have been in prison from violating his probation on that 2023 charge, and he should have never have been able to have had his arms around or near Emmanuel Haro. Like, literally, he shouldn't have been around any babies. Truly. So here we go. And it keeps going. After Haro finishes that 6-year term, Smith wrote, he should begin serving a sentence of 25 years to life for assaulting Emmanuel. 1-year sentence for a misdemeanor count of filing a police report. Haro and wife Rebecca claimed that Emmanuel had been kidnapped. Should run at the same time, Smith wrote. Jake Haro murdered 7-month-old Emmanuel, but in reality, he comes before the court having taken the lives of 2 young children, Smith wrote. If there's a lower forms of evil in this world, I'm not aware of them. What do you guys think? The laws need to change? Yeah. Mandatory vasectomies, period. I'm sorry. And I know that violates a lot of civil rights and whatever, but I think that there needs to be something about mandatory vasectomies. I'm sorry. Like, see, people like this should not be procreating at all. No. Deputy Public Defender, okay, Allison Lowe, in a document also filed Friday, said Haro should receive credit for admitting his guilt. And doing so at an early stage of the case. Because of that, Lowe wrote, Polk should sentence him on the lighter of the 2 felonies, the murder charge that carries a penalty of 15 years to life. Lowe added that Haro does not have the ability to pay fines or fees. Oh, poor guy, right? Lowe added that Haro does not have the ability to pay his fines or fees. Prior to his arrest, Mr. Haro was not working and was on disability. I mean, didn't we find that as well when we were looking into this case a little bit deeper? That they were filing disabilities all the time. Him and Rebecca were filing all kinds of disabilities, all kinds of things and stuff like that. Prior to his arrest, Mr. Haro was not working and was on disability. Rebecca Haro, 41, is due in court on Monday. Court records show that her attorney, Jeff Moore, plans to object to the judge's order and made a private document related to a so-called Perkins operation. Oh, look at this. Again, the Perkins operation. Again, there it is. Plans to object to the judge's order that made private a document related to a so-called Perkins operation in which a suspect is placed in a jail cell with an inmate who is being paid by law enforcement, attempts to elicit a confession. No one has revealed which of the Haros was involved in that ruse, but it did happen apparently. Rebecca has pled not guilty to the same charges to which her husband admitted. The case has garnered national attention, with local residents building a makeshift memorial to the baby outside of his home and going on impromptu and hopeful ground searches. Others fluent in social media have devoted hours of coverage to the case, in some instances breaking news ahead of the mainstream media, but in others creating a burden for detectives who authorities said have to devote time to investigating the ultimately false claims. Again, throwing shade to the social media people that are out there, you know, who care about folks. You know what I mean? Literally. Transparency is needed in this case. I agree, Robin. I agree. It's been one of those things where, for those of us, it's just unfair, you know, like when we think about things that fall through the cracks, this would be one of them. Absolutely. I love. So that is the latest. We will be live tomorrow covering this. Make sure you guys are joining us for this coverage because I think it's important.